Hello everybody once again. I'm coming to you today from the CHCO television studios to show off a nearly vintage high-definition TV set that was recently donated to us. This is a Sony BRAVIA model KLV-S32A10, and it was made in 2005, which makes this personally the oldest high-definition TV and the oldest full-size LCD TV that I've ever seen. This is pretty cool. This was donated to us by someone who simply decided they wanted a newer TV, perhaps a bigger TV, and they just replaced this. But it works just fine. And, you know, for being otherwise, you know, just a standard HDTV like any other, it's pretty unique. It's pretty cool just to see how early of an HD TV this is and what they were doing in the earliest days of consumer high definition. It's a 32-inch set. It is a 1080i set, so you can put a 720p or 1080i signal into this. No 1080p. Also, while it has a standard television tuner, it is not digital, it's analog only. This TV was made before ATSC existed, so it's an analog only tuner. It does have HDMI. This would have been an extremely early set to have HDMI, possibly one of the first, I'm not sure. But it also has an analog component input, and that'll accept high definition as well. So you can put either 720p or 1080i through either of those inputs. It's got some pretty hefty stereo speakers along the bottom. It also has SRS True Surround, I guess. And if we look over here, it's got a timer function. We do have the remote. I'll have to find that and show you that in this video. There's the model designation as well. And other than that, it's just some indicator LEDs. All the controls are actually on the top. The TV swivels about its base. And I'll give you a look at the top controls. Here's the controls up top. We have volume, channel controls, power key, of course. TV video, I assume it either switches between all the inputs or between the TV tuner and whatever video input, not sure. I haven't used this thing yet. Wega Gate basically just brings up a really simple menu that you can navigate using purely these controls up top rather than the remote. And we've got an enter key. Notice how chunky this thing is. This is how thick it is. It's also very heavy. On the left side, we have composite video, S-video, and what appears to be a headphone jack. On the back of the set, starting on the left side, we do have an HDMI port, just the one, and we have a VGA port. The audio input jack right below the HDMI port is actually for if you connect something to the HDMI port through an HDMI to DVI adapter. You see, early HDMI was actually just DVI with digital audio tacked onto it. HDMI was simply an expansion of the DVI specification. So you can actually connect a DVI device to an HDMI port through a passive adapter. There's no conversion. It's just passive connecting some of the DVI pins to some of the HDMI pins. And that's why DVI to HDMI cables are so common and so cheap. So if you connected a DVI device to the HDMI port, well, DVI doesn't carry audio, so that's what the separate audio jacks are for. Pretty neat. I looked it up between scenes. The first TV sets equipped with HDMI were sold in 2004, so this was just like a year, if not less, after HDMI entered the consumer market. Pretty amazing. On the back, we have two more composite AV inputs. We have S-video as well, two of them. And we have our component input, which again is capable of taking 480i, 480p, 720p, or 1080i. And we have the audio input for that. We have a 3.5mm audio input for the PC. And we have an audio output, so you could hook it up to your stereo or home theater system or whatever. And there's our coax input for our analog only TV tuner. Manufacture date, October 2005. And it was made in Mexico, which is actually slightly surprising. I would have expected Japan. You know, it's kind of funny. The first time I saw this TV, it was from the back. I didn't look at the front yet. So because of the shape of it, I thought I was looking at a 4:3 high definition TV. And it wasn't until I turned it around to the front that I saw that a good chunk of the bottom bezel is for the speakers. And it uses a standard IEC connector for power. Here's the remote for the unit, pretty standard remote. You know, I kind of like Sony does this. Notice they've put TV in big letters on the remote, so that if you have a lot of components with a lot of different remotes, you know this one goes to the TV. Remote's the model RMYA001. And I've got the TV hooked up here. I'm using this blue box made by a company called Atomos. It takes an SDI or HDMI input and it converts it to whatever analog output you need. High definition component, standard definition component, composite, S-video, it does it all. It's a really handy box. We use it with our Sony PVM 14L5, which is a professional video monitor, even older than this TV, but it can also take high definition 720p or 1080i signals. So we actually bought this blue box so that we can keep using this PVM, even though it doesn't have an SDI input on it, because we like it and it makes a great picture. So let's see what it does here. Heard a relay click. I hear static. Oh, there we go. Nice. Oh, it self-mutes. Oh, looks good. Well, I mean, I'm just looking at static, but I mean, the picture is nice and bright. Let's see here. I will press the TV video button. See what that does. Video 1. Press it again. Oh, there we go. Nice. Wow, that looks really good. That's a really nice, bright picture, even though this set is 18 years old. Really nice. Let me Irish down a bit here. No sound, of course. It's just running program out from the switcher. Too bad, because my voice is what's being heard right now. I voiced over this little promo here. Wow, what a really nice picture. Very, very nice. What do we got in our WegaGate menu here? Favorites, TV list. I guess if you had this hooked up to cable, it could give you a cable guide, I guess. There's all the inputs. I guess you can name them. Label video inputs. Oh, I guess you can't call it by the type of input it is. VHS, DVD, satellite cable, 8mm. Beta! Oh wow, you know this is a Sony product. They list 8mm and beta as some of the things you can name the video inputs. That's kind of funny. Video 4 HD. It's too bad you can't call it like component or composite or something like that. HD is a good enough description of it, I guess. Wow, what a nice picture. What a nice TV. 2005. And it's looking pretty darn nice. There, that looks a bit better. All the default settings are adjusted to give it like a super bright, vivid picture. But there's a few presets you can choose from, and one of the presets is called Pro, which I guess must be for if you're using this as a video monitor and you need like an accurate representation that's not enhanced at all. And so I chose that, and yeah, that seems to make it look even better. But yeah, very nice picture. Very impressive. Well guys, I think that's all there is to show of the Sony BRAVIA HDTV from 2005. What a cool example of an early high definition TV. Really cool set. We plan on using this somewhere in the studio. It's got a Visa mount on the back, so what we're thinking is that we might put it up on the wall in the edit suite and just use it as a program monitor. Maybe put a multi-view on it so we can monitor all the individual cameras and stuff right from the edit suite. I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, great little old TV, great array of input on it, HDMI, but also a great list of analog inputs on it. And yeah, it's a darn cool TV. And the fact that it's 18 years old and still working, really a testament to Sony's quality. Not a surprise at all. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to leave you today with some footage from my trip to Ottawa, Ontario in late November, early December. This is footage from the plane ride there. This was my first time ever flying, and I loved it. For anyone who cares, the plane is a de Havilland Dash 8400, relatively small turboprop plane. I was not prepared to be slammed back in my seat while we shot off the runway like a rocket. It was loud, it was shaky, it was an absolute assault on the body and the senses, and I adored every second of it. I'd fly for fun if I could afford it. But yeah, here's a supercut of the flight there from engine start to touchdown. Note that some of these clips, especially the takeoff, have a lot of flickering because of the propeller interfering with the camera. So big photosensitivity warning, beware of that.
The boarding door has now been closed. If you plan to use a mobile device during flight, now is the time to ensure that it has been set to airplane mode or the cellular service is turned off. At this time, we ask passengers using their headsets to remove them for the duration of the safety demonstration. Thank you. This aircraft is equipped with 4 emergency exits. There are 2 at the front and 2 at the rear of the cabin. Please take note of the exits nearest you. This aircraft is also equipped with escape path lighting. If there is a need to evacuate, a floor lighting system will guide you to the nearest emergency exit. In the event of an emergency, leave all your belongings behind for a faster and safer evacuation. In the seat pocket in front of you is a safety features card. This gives details of the safety equipment and exits on this aircraft. Please review its contents prior to takeoff. At this time, you should be comfortably seated with your seatbelt fastened, tray table secured, and your hand luggage safely stowed. You may now use your headset and small handheld electronic devices, provided they are secured and in airplane mode.
Got a current legacy ever take off? landing.
So there's two circles here.